Okay, Vitez family, thank you for the session today. Just want to kind of go through some of the things that we worked on all of you with in a series here, so you kind of got them all in one place. I'll start with Justin because he's right next to me here, hitting balls. Obviously, you know, you've been struggling with this little bit of a pattern for most of your golf life, right? You know, obviously that club gets really kind of outward early. I'll admit that I try to come at it from a couple different angles with you, right? We really need, no matter what, we know that impact can't be faked, right? That how the club approaches the ball and where the face's point is we make impact is what tells the tail, okay? That's what we need to change. Better. And so we tried to come at how to change those impact conditions from a couple different directions. We worked a little bit on trying to feel your hands falling behind you. We got you on a slope there and swung around you. And all those had some impact on the movement of the club, but didn't necessarily get to what I think we've decided has been the root cause. So when I watched you swing further, what I really noticed is that you're loading up fairly central or maybe even a little bit close to your left side, but that left shoulder was not getting far enough behind you. And then when we started downward, it immediately started diving downward. Your chest really dove straight down this way. So we started focusing on that. We did that drill where I kind of had an alignment rod next to your club so that you wouldn't immediately sort of fly this shoulder down, would be able to kind of keep it back and allow that club to come kind of more from the inside that way. When we did that, when we really focused on the movement of that left shoulder, you were able to kick that club in behind you. Now we need to focus on A, continuing to do that, and then B, calibrating the impact at the face. So how much am I closing the face with those moves, with that club coming more behind me? And can I get that club to bottom out far enough forward, keeping my shoulder back this way? When you do it all well, man, we hit a couple baby draws, which is probably not a shot you see a ton of, but we'll definitely take some continued practice and grinding on that to make sure that you're successful with that. So anyway, there's Justin. All right, we'll get to Marla. We talked a lot about, first, golf swing's looking much better. Doing a good job of getting the club in a good position here, moving much less outward this way in transition. So we're hitting a lot less of those shots where you go beneath it with your driver or, you know, kind of popping them up. We started working on how to create a little bit more height with your irons because they were solid but going fairly low. So what we talked about is what we call the angle of attack, which just basically means, like, if this is the horizon, how far down are we hitting on it versus how far up are we hitting on it? And you were, prior to the conversation today, very downward, right? So the club was traveling significantly, probably 10 to 12 degrees, hitting down into that ball with your irons. So we wanted to reduce that. So the feel that I gave you was put some on a low tee, started feeling that club is coming upward more. And in the middle of the session, I thought you hit some very, very successful shots with that approach. What you found, though, is that it started to become difficult to make good contact with the ball because we went a little bit too far in that direction to where it was already, the club in your body was already traveling up a little bit too much. So what we need to start to get a feel for is how we can allow that club to continue down to the ground and then late in that swing, traveling upward through it. You were just starting to get to a point where it was happening a little bit too early. Again, if we think of the swing kind of as a Ferris wheel or a hula hoop, right, we need to get that bottom to come right about where that ball is and just slightly before, brush that grass and then start heading upward through it a little bit more. It's not that we actually want to be hitting upward on our irons. We want to be slightly hitting downward, but much less than you were before. So I think that really helped you manage the launch of those clubs and that sort of attack. Tom, looks like you're hitting the ball well. I actually really like the direction that your golf swing is going. I think we still want to continue to manage the hand path and transition, right? So that club will oftentimes still shoot too much outward. I think focusing a little bit on this left shoulder, a little bit like Justin actually, but just thinking about not shooting that outward so early. I know we've started to kind of try and add a little bit of lower body rotation in, but if at the same time you are rotating your lower body, rotating your upper, that club transitions outward this way, okay? So if we can start moving our lower body while keeping our lead shoulder nice and closed, that club can still shallow, and then you can make your swing on through with a good full release. So yeah, that's what I continue to work on with you. Just manage that hand path in transition and you'll be successful from there. So thank you very much again, friends.